My fiancé invited the sister who destroyed my career to our wedding behind my back, so I canceled everything, and she never saw what came next. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Growing up, Sarah made sure every spotlight burned me. At my science fair win, she faked fainting and stole the attention. I remember gripping my ribbon tighter as the crowd circled her. Mom brushed it off. Sibling antics, she said, but it kept happening. Every achievement I had, she found a way to spoil it. I began dreading good news, knowing she'd twist it somehow. When I landed my first internship at a top firm, Sarah emailed her pretending to be me and declined the offer. I only found out after the deadline passed. She said she was protecting me from burnout. I didn't speak to her for 2 years. It shattered something in me. That internship could have launched my career earlier. Instead, I spent those years rebuilding what she quietly destroyed behind closed doors. When I met Lily, I told her about Sarah. I laid it out clear: no contact, no invites. She promised. At first, she agreed completely. But over time, Lily would ask, what if she's changed? I'd shut it down. Then came the bridal expo. I saw Lily texting someone and smiling. My gut twisted. I asked, that wasn't Sarah, was it? She said, don't be paranoid. Lily started suggesting family therapy, not for us, but with Sarah. Maybe it'll help bring closure, she said. I felt cornered. I reminded her of the internship, the lies. She listened quietly, then asked, but what if she really wants to make amends? It wasn't about Sarah's change. It was about mine. I needed Lily to understand boundaries. Instead, she seemed focused on reconciliation I never asked for. Lily bought a dress that reminded her of Sarah's old style. It's just fashion, she shrugged. But I noticed the shift. She brought up Sarah more, with less caution. One night I found a wine-stained note on our fridge. Invite her, he'll forgive you. The handwriting wasn't Lily's. I asked her. She left it off. Probably from your mom's visit. But my mom hadn't been over in weeks. One night, I scrolled through Lily's phone while she slept. It felt wrong, but the doubt was louder than guilt. There they were, texts from Sarah. Months of them, jokes, stories, even wedding talk. My name was barely mentioned. When I confronted Lily, she cried. I didn't want to hurt you. I thought I could fix it all before the big day. I just stood there hollow. Lily insisted on keeping Sarah's invitation a secret, just until the wedding. If she doesn't show, no harm done, she pleaded. My chest tightened. So lying's better than conflict, I asked. She hesitated. That silence said everything. It wasn't about peace, it was about her version of peace. I realized she never believed Sarah's actions were unforgivable. Maybe she never believed my pain was real either. A week before the wedding, Lily's mother called me. She's doing this for you, she said. I was stunned. Doing what? Bringing your sister back. Closure. My stomach sank. Even her family was involved. I realized Lily had built a plan behind my back with Sarah. They thought they knew what I needed, but what I needed was honesty, and they'd buried it under good intentions and deceit. The night I saw that bridal fitting photo, something cracked. Sarah beaming beside Lily. My name wasn't tagged, but Mutual shared it. I felt the blood drain from my face. I called Lily. She didn't answer. I texted, you invited her. Minutes passed. I thought it'd be a surprise. She finally replied. A surprise like this was a joke, not the culmination of years of betrayal. I packed a bag without speaking, and when Lily got home, I was already waiting. You lied, I said. She dropped her keys, eyes wide. I was trying to help. I laughed bitterly. Help who, me? Or your fantasy of us smiling through pain? She reached for me. I stepped back. You chose her after everything. Her voice cracked. She's your sister. I snapped. No, she's your project. That silence stretched between us, colder than any scream. We argued for hours. I replayed every instance Sarah sabotaged me. Each one met with Lily's deflection. That was years ago. She's different. I asked, would you have invited someone who abused you? She looked away. It's not the same. I realized she didn't understand the depth of Sarah's cruelty. Maybe she never could. That night, I slept on the couch. It was the first time I truly felt alone beside her. Lily begged me not to cancel the wedding. It's already paid for. People are flying in. I stared at her. This isn't about money, she cried. I just wanted everyone to be happy. I whispered, you buried my boundary under your fantasy. She tried to hug me. I pulled away. That moment sealed it. I wasn't just mourning Sarah's betrayal. I was mourning the person I thought Lily was too. I called the venue and canceled everything. The woman on the phone asked if I needed a refund form. I said no, I didn't want the money. I wanted peace. When I told Lily, she broke down. You're throwing away our future, I replied. You threw away my trust. She packed her things without another word. I watched the door close, not with anger but with the hollow relief of finality. That night, I opened an old journal, pages filled with goals, career dreams, boundaries I'd written after the internship fallout. On one page, I'd scribbled, people who force reconciliation aren't peacemakers, they're erasers. I underlined it twice. I realized Sarah hadn't just hurt me, she'd trained me to doubt myself. And Lily, by ignoring that, let the damage echo. I didn't need forgiveness, I needed respect, and I had to reclaim it myself. 2 days later, my mother called, voice trembling. Brian, you need to come home for dinner. It's important. I hesitated but agreed. When I arrived, Sarah was already there, seated, smiling. The air was thick. My father barely looked at me. My mother placed her hand on mine. Let's talk this through. I realized it wasn't a dinner, it was an ambush, and my parents were playing peacemakers with a loaded deck. Sarah smiled like nothing had ever happened. I missed you, she said. I didn't respond. My mother served dinner like it was Thanksgiving. I asked, did you tell Lily I'd be here? My mom flinched. Sarah's smile deepened. She was supposed to come too. I stood. This isn't healing, it's control wrapped in roast chicken. My father muttered, sit down. I didn't. I walked out, leaving my appetite and my past behind. A week later, Lily sent a message. Your mom called me, said you're spiraling. My chest tightened. They were still in contact. She said Sarah's trying. I stared at the screen. Trying? I'd watched Sarah sabotage me for years. I replied, if healing means lying and ambushes, I'll pass. Lily left it unread. That silence hurt more than a scream. She wasn't confused, she'd picked her side. And it wasn't mine. My father emailed me a link. Family isn't forever, it's now. It led to a video Sarah posted her recounting our reunion, painting it as healing. Comments praised her courage. I nearly vomited. She twisted reality into performance. I messaged him, did you watch it? No reply. That's when I realized they didn't want truth, they wanted comfort. And Sarah's version came wrapped in smiles, not scars. My silence wasn't peace, it was erasure. One night, I got a text from a stranger. I used to work with Sarah. You're not crazy. Attached was a screenshot Sarah mocking my breakdown in a group chat. Watch this, she'd said, linking to the wedding dress fitting video. My hands shook. It wasn't just betrayal, it was sport. I replied, thank you. That message cracked the isolation. For once, Someone believe me, and that tiny light was enough. I posted the screenshot anonymously in a private forum. What do you do when your sister mocks your breakdown in a group chat? Responses flooded in dozens of strangers validating my anger, my grief. One woman wrote, "Cutting family off saved my life." I saved that comment. I didn't need justice from Sarah anymore. I needed space to breathe. And finally, strangers were giving me the air my family refused. Lily sent a final message. "I wish you could see Sarah like I do." That line stuck. Not sorry, not I messed up. Just a plea to see her abuser differently. I deleted her contact. I blocked her on everything. Closure doesn't come from mutual understanding, it comes from stopping the cycle. And Lily, by defending Sarah, had become part of it. I wasn't angry anymore. I was done, entirely done. Weeks passed. My mother dropped off a box labeled memories at my apartment door. Inside were childhood photos, letters, and a note: "Forgive her. She's trying." I shredded the note. Sarah had years to try. She chose sabotage every time. I kept one photo, me at age 10, grinning at a spelling bee Sarah was cropped out. That smile was real. I taped it to my fridge, a reminder of who I was. A coworker approached me cautiously. "I saw your Reddit post. I think you're brave." I froze. I hadn't used my name, but I guess the story resonated too specifically. "I've been through something similar," she said. We had coffee. We didn't talk much, just sat, breathed. It was the first peaceful silence I'd had in weeks. It felt strange and sacred, like maybe there was space in a world where I fit. Sarah emailed me. Subject line: truce. No apology, no acknowledgement, just a link to her newest blog post, "Surviving Family Estrangement." She painted herself as misunderstood, brave, healing. I closed the tab. Healing doesn't start with spin, it starts with accountability. I replied with 2 words: do better. Then I blocked her again. This time, it didn't feel like an escape, it felt like a choice. My boundary wasn't optional anymore. At work, I lit a new project. My focus returned. My team noticed. "You're sharper lately," one said. I smiled, surprised by the warmth in my own voice. Cutting ties hadn't shattered me, it cleared the fog. Without Sarah's shadow, I could see my own outline again. I started walking to work, feeling the air, noticing the sky. It wasn't peace yet, but it was movement, and that mattered more than anything. Sarah showed up at my office building. Security called. "There's a woman asking for you." My chest tightened. I walked to the lobby. There she was, holding a box. "Just talk to me," she pleaded. I turned to security. "She's not welcome." They escorted her out. I didn't waver. She mouthed something as the doors closed. I didn't try to read it. Some stories don't need closure, just an end. I started writing again, just small essays, private posts. One piece was titled "Peace Isn't Shared." It got picked up by blogs, comments rolled in. One read, "This made me cut ties with my sister. Thank you." I stared at the screen, stunned. My pain transformed into someone else's mirror. Maybe healing isn't soft. Maybe it's sharp, clear, unapologetic. And maybe, just maybe, it was okay to let it be. My therapist asked if Sarah apologized genuinely. "What would you do?" I paused, not out of uncertainty, but clarity. "I'd listen," I said, "and still choose distance." She nodded. "That's not hate, that's self-respect." That word respect echoed. It wasn't about vengeance or resentment, it was about space, and knowing who deserved mine. I wasn't building walls anymore, I was planting fences, not to keep people out but to protect what remained inside. One evening, a mutual friend reached out. "Sarah's planning another video. Says she'll reveal the real you." I felt my jaw clench, then I breathed. "Let her," I replied. That wasn't resignation, it was release. I no longer lived in defense. My truth didn't need defending. Not to strangers. Not to family. I didn't watch the video. Whatever lies she told, they couldn't change the boundary I built with truth and silence. Months later, I received an award at work. Recognition for leadership and innovation. My team clapped. I stood at the podium, hands steady. I didn't mention Sarah. I didn't mention Lily. I mentioned boundaries, integrity, and starting over. Afterward, someone asked, "Is that story real?" I nodded. "All of it," they said. "Thanks for sharing." That night, I walked home under city lights, not triumphant but grounded. No ghosts, just me, walking forward, on what would have been our anniversary. I lit a candle not for Lily or Sarah, but for myself. 1 year since the wedding that never was. 1 year since I chose solitude over betrayal. I sipped tea, wrote a journal entry, and watched the flame flicker. It didn't symbolize loss anymore, it marked clarity. I wasn't mourning a relationship. I was honoring the moment I finally stopped apologizing for needing protection. I kept the journal entry from that night. Rereading it months later, I felt pride not in the pain, but in my response to it. For the first time, I didn't bend. I didn't beg. I stayed firm. My younger self gripping that spelling bee ribbon would have been proud. I wasn't healed, but I was safe. And safety, I'd learned, was sacred. I don't check Sarah's profiles anymore. I don't reread Lily's messages. Closure didn't come with answers, it came with action. With silence, with space. Some days hurt more than others, but I no longer doubt my right to distance. That's the lesson. Pain can echo, but it doesn't get to steer. I drive now, and I choose peace over performance every time. I moved to a new apartment, smaller, quieter. Mine. I adopted a rescue dog, named her Clarity. Every morning, we walk past a park bench where I write in my journal. A stranger once asked, "Why do you always sit here?" I smiled. "It's where I remember who I am." There's no wedding, no Sarah, no Lily. Just me, building a life with honest bricks. I'm not healed, but I'm whole enough to begin. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe to check out more stories on my channel.